Ron Howard. Just hearing that name brings an instant smile to the faces of millions. For most of us, he is forever linked to the pure golden age innocence of Mayberry, that freckle-faced, fishing pole-toting boy, Opie Taylor. And then, in a beautiful, almost unbelievable twist of fate, he became one of the most respected directors in Hollywood, a master storyteller who's given us cinematic treasures from Apollo 13 to A Beautiful Mind. We've watched his career unfold, assuming his trajectory was as smooth and perfect as an episode of the show that launched him. But what if that seamless transition, that picture of an idyllic childhood star life, was a carefully constructed facade hiding a deeply human, deeply painful truth? After decades of keeping this struggle intensely private, after years spent building a formidable directorial legacy, Ron Howard has finally chosen to speak. And his confession about his early years on the set of The Andy Griffith Show has sent shockwaves through the fandom. It's a hidden truth, a complex and emotional reality from his childhood that even his closest fans never suspected. You have to wonder, why now? Why, after all this time, has the man known for his calm discretion and steady hand decided to share a revelation that could potentially reframe our entire understanding of his foundational years? Prepare yourself, because this raw, personal insight is poised to completely change the warm, nostalgic lens through which we've always viewed Mayberry. Let's go back to 1960. The Andy Griffith Show premiered and immediately captured the American heart. It wasn't just a sitcom, it was a cultural touchstone. It created Mayberry, a mythical small town built on gentle humor, timeless moral lessons, and the perfect paternal bond between Sheriff Andy Taylor and his young son Opie. It felt real, it felt safe, and it felt universally true. It became a phenomenon, a bedrock of television history. But here's where the narrative shifts. Behind those famous, heartwarming scenes, something much more complex was taking place. While the cameras were rolling and the audiences were laughing, there were real human struggles, off-screen moments, hinting at a very tangible tension that weighed heavily on one person in particular: 6-year-old Ron Howard. His entrance into Hollywood was explosive. He took on the role of Opie Taylor at an age when most kids are just figuring out the alphabet. With his natural charisma and undeniable boyish charm, he became an instant, massive household favorite. He was a star, but he was also just a child. And that's the unique, crushing pressure of being a child star. Imagine carrying the immense weight of national fame, the relentless demand of the production schedule, the need to keep up with schoolwork, and the expectations of millions of viewers hanging on your every line and every reaction. It was a pressure cooker, and it bore down on him profoundly. He felt this constant, agonizing split. He genuinely loved the creative process, the acting, the energy of the set, but he was simultaneously consumed by a deep, fierce yearning for a normal, anonymous childhood, the kind of childhood the show was supposedly portraying. As he got older, the subtle hints began to surface. He started to share that while the experience was defining, the unyielding, constant glare of the spotlight felt suffocating. It wasn't simply about hitting his marks or delivering the lines perfectly. It was about the crushing reality of living every single moment, whether he was in character or not, under the intense, inescapable scrutiny of fame. He couldn't just be a regular kid, a normal, flawed, messy human being when the camera stopped rolling. That constant vigilance, that inability to escape the Opie persona, created a profound and complicated relationship with his own fame. It was a secret emotional toll he carried, a private burden he refused to reveal to the world for years. And that atmosphere on the set of America's favorite, laughter-filled town? It was a volatile cocktail of talent, expectation, love, and that quiet, powerful tension Ron Howard finally feels ready to confront. His truth is about to unravel the perfect myth of Mayberry and deliver a story that is raw, human, and utterly compelling. Ron Howard's experience wasn't just about the personal pressure he felt. It was also about what he witnessed on the set. A front-row seat to the messy reality of adult relationships that were supposed to look picture-perfect on screen. We all know Andy Griffith as the easygoing sheriff, the heart of Mayberry. And he truly did have this infectious, playful spirit. He was famous for his pranks, the kind of antics that kept morale from sinking during those endless filming days. He'd playfully sneak up and wake Don Knotts up with a loud noise, or pull some elaborate, outlandish stunt on George Lindsay. For Andy and most of the guys, this was how they bonded. It was how they kept the laughter flowing. But not everyone was playing along. Enter Frances Bavier, the brilliant actress who played Aunt B. She was a professional through and through, preferring a serious, focused environment. She sometimes found Andy's constant joking disruptive, and you can imagine how that led to some real, tangible friction between them. So, while we saw the most loving, harmonious family on screen behind the camera, there were genuine mixed emotions and, frankly, occasional tension. For young Ron, this was a fascinating, often confusing dynamic to observe. He was learning early on that life isn't black and white. He was watching the complexity of adult relationships unfold, the challenging tightrope walk between personal feelings and professional necessity. Yes, many of the cast grew incredibly close, but these kinds of clashes were absolutely part of the daily life on set. Frances Bavier and Andy Griffith, despite their iconic loving on-screen chemistry, had a notoriously rocky relationship when the cameras were off. Her serious, disciplined approach was constantly colliding with his playful, sometimes disruptive side, and their interactions could turn genuinely icy. Now here's the part that really speaks to the human element of this story. Years later, after the show had long ended and they had both moved on, Frances Bavier did something completely surprising. She reached out to Andy Griffith. She made the effort to apologize for the strained relationship they had during their time on the show. This unexpected act of reconciliation, this gesture of humility, left a deep and lasting impact on everyone who heard about it. For Ron, witnessing that even years later highlighted an incredible lesson, the profound power of forgiveness and humility. Despite the professional and personal difficulties, both Griffith and Bavier, in the end, chose to set aside their pride and bitterness. It was a powerful reminder to young Ron and to all of us that even in the brightest, most beloved stories, there's always a quiet layer of human struggle, and ultimately, a chance for grace. Showing Ron that even in the most challenging adult relationships, there can always be a path to understanding and a profound capacity for grace. Ultimately, Ron's time on The Andy Griffith Show shaped him in ways that were invisible to the public eye. While he was out there on television screens everywhere, appearing to embrace the attention and the adoration from millions of fans, internally, it was a profound source of conflict. He absolutely loved the craft of acting, but he struggled intensely with the constant focus, the kind that followed him home. Imagine going to school and having your classmates and peers constantly teasing you for being Opie. While the world saw him as living the ultimate dream, Ron often felt profoundly isolated. He would later reveal that the emotional cost of being a child star was far more intense than he ever let on. His deepest frustration wasn't with any co-star or the work itself, it was with the fundamental loss of a typical childhood. That experience, that pressure, left an indelible mark, teaching him hard-won lessons about the necessity of privacy, balance, and self-preservation. Yet, amid the pressure, he formed incredible, meaningful connections. Andy Griffith became more than a co-star. He was a true mentor, offering wisdom and guidance that went far beyond the script. This bond mirrored their beautiful on-screen father-son relationship, becoming a critical source of emotional support for Ron throughout those demanding years. Andy taught him lessons in humility, dedication, and the importance of staying grounded, values that Ron would carry with him for the rest of his life. And then there was Don Knotts. Ron shared a special friendship with Don, who brought pure, necessary humor and lightness to the set. Don's playful personality and his knack for making Ron genuinely laugh helped cut through the tension of those long filming days, adding a touch of essential joy to an otherwise demanding environment. These two relationships weren't just fond memories. They became a foundation for Ron, shaping his personal values and grounding him as he navigated the tumultuous waters of a career in entertainment. When The Andy Griffith Show wrapped in 1968, Ron didn't disappear. He moved right into another iconic role as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days, continuing to cement his reputation as a talented actor. But Ron had bigger ambitions. He wasn't content to stay in front of the camera. He dreamed of stepping behind it. He wanted to be a director. After Happy Days, he took that ambitious leap. His first major film, Grand Theft Auto, launched a directing career that would absolutely change the face of Hollywood. With cinematic masterpieces like Apollo 13, the Oscar-winning A Beautiful Mind, and blockbuster hits like The Da Vinci Code, Ron Howard established himself as one of the most respected, most versatile directors in the industry. It's no coincidence. His experiences on The Andy Griffith Show, the observed teamwork, the resilience required to manage conflict, and the fundamental lessons of storytelling were the very things that shaped his directorial style and powered his eventual success. The cast of The Andy Griffith Show left an undeniable legacy, not just for the beautiful performances we all loved, but for the profound life lessons they unknowingly passed on. The show's charm and moral teachings are timeless, absolutely. But it's these behind-the-scenes stories of resilience, forgiveness, mentorship, and friendship that give it a depth and a human reality that truly make it unforgettable. For Ron, the journey wasn't always easy, but it gave him the essential foundation for a lifelong career dedicated to the art of telling stories. So, after hearing Ron's full, raw journey, what project of his from Opie to the director's chair do you feel most connected to? Drop a comment below and share your favorite Ron Howard work. And please, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the untold stories of Hollywood's past. You won't want to miss our next video, where we dive even deeper into a hidden history that links two of TV's biggest legends.